while at the same time creating your own personal economy. You could weather this financial storm, be proactive, and do something about your own financial situation by feeding the starving children. And I want you to understand we are putting these two concepts together, and this is something where you've got to use some out-of-the-box thinking, because this is not the way that it's been done in the past. We're used to wealthy people, relatively wealthy people, doing their part to give out of their wealth to do the charitable giving. And that doesn't allow most of us to participate. This allows all of us, the poorest among us, to be able to participate, because we can create our own economy while at the same time addressing this tremendous demand of the starving children. Here's our mission statement: to create a global network of contributors who make it their business to have a significant impact on the world hunger issue. So don't lose sight of the fact that there's two things going on at the same time. This is what I'm talking about with the Zango Goodness Meal Pack. It's a package that's designed specifically for somebody that's clinically starving to death. You can't go and give real food. You can't just go order a Big Mac and fries or send a pizza to these people. They cannot assimilate it. They have to have some kind of an entry-level meal that's prepared for them for their unique needs, being starving to death. For $90 delivered, you are providing 35 meals, and you don't even get to see where this goes. We have a website that's and a new a distribution partner that's going to allow us to track this very, very thoroughly, and we'll be able to have on-the-ground pictures and videos and things like that instead of just the counter that we have now. So you'll be able to see to your satisfaction that the job is getting done. But $90 delivered, you're providing 35 meals. You don't touch this, you don't see this, you don't take delivery of it. You just order it, and it goes to where people are starving to death right now. That's the primary meal package that we're talking about. And also there's a smaller, kind of a half package for $45 delivered of 17 meals. This is something that could be used as like a one-time gift if you want to give something where you have to buy a token gift for somebody for a wedding or a funeral or a birthday or something to make a statement that you gave something. But instead of just buying a fruit basket or flowers or something like that, you can do something like this $45 pack that'll make the same statement in a much more effective way. You're given a card that you're allowed to send and gift this on the behalf of someone else. So that's just a very, very effective thing to do there. But that's what we're talking about with the meal pack. You don't touch it, you don't inventory it, you don't take it up and down the street trying to sell it or something like that. This is a site where you can go and actually see the counter of how many meals are being served, and it's neat to see just in the last couple of months this thing has really started to spin. Within the next 6 months, we'll need to add extra digits onto this counter. But we've been delivering these meal packs into El Salvador, Cuba, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Haiti, Myanmar, there's Sudan, other places, and our new distribution partner has avenues where we can get it into places we haven't even been able to think about going so far. So we're not going to run out anytime soon of people to feed, so don't worry about saturating that market. What a cool idea if we could, though. I mean, isn't that a great thought? Here's the places you can go to get some more information: doingwelldoinggood.info. You can see a little video that I put up there. It's about 5 minutes long that gives you an overview of the project, and you can send somebody to that site to give them an idea of what we're talking about. And also the corporate site, zangogoodness.com, that'll allow you, there's a full question and answer section there. If you, whatever questions you have about this, you can get your answers there. But I want to talk to you about a concept of leverage. This is very important because this is what makes us different. Archimedes put it this way in the Principle of Physics. He says, give me a plane to stand on and a lever long enough, and I will move the earth. And that was his statement 200 years B.C., and that's used in physics today. Here's how it applies to business. J. Paul Getty put it this way: I would rather have a 1% interest in the efforts of 100 people than 100% interest in my own efforts. We're not taught this kind of leverage principle in schools. You're taught generally to work what we call linearly, where you're trading time for dollars. You're taught in the school system to go get a good job, get a good education, get a good job, work hard, your boss will move you up. And that's kind of what it teaches you there. There's no leverage in that business model. The wealthiest among us, like J. Paul Getty, learned this principle of leverage and applied it to business. In the realm of fundraising, here's the way it works. On the left side of this continuum, you see a model where there's no leverage. This is the way traditional charities or charitable foundations work. They're used to just accepting donations and using a linear or an arithmetic growth model. By that I mean 1 plus 1 equals 2, plus 1 equals 3, plus 1 equals 4. There's no leverage in that model. Contrast that with what we're presenting to you, the concept of network giving, where you maximize your leverage. We're using an exponential or a geometric growth model. That's where 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, etc. And anyone in this network giving model can employ those same principles of leverage. So it doesn't matter when you get involved or who you get involved with. Anyone can employ and maximize this leverage principle. The traditional model is flawed and not taking anything away from what's been done. I applaud the efforts that have been out there, but there are several reasons why it's a flawed business model or a flawed distribution model when you compare it to what we've got our hands on here. Number one, there's huge initial costs before the kids are fed. You've got to pay for the production costs, celebrity spokespeople that get paid for their endorsements, all of the television or radio time to get the message out there. And all of these costs are incurred over and over and over again just to get the message out there before any of the kids are being fed. So that's one a major flaw in the model. And also there's tremendous administrative waste. And I wish I had more time to speak about this, but a lot of the 501c3 charities and some of the organizations out there that are considered nonprofit don't have to give a very substantial amount. Usually it's only about 15% that they actually have to end up getting to whatever their charitable effort is. The rest can be absorbed in administrative waste, the salaries and other kind of costs that go into the functioning of that charity. And it's very dismaying when you are thinking about giving a charitable donation to know that very little of that is actually probably going to get to the cause that you're associated with. Also, linear versus geometric growth. There's no leverage in the traditional model. And then my biggest pet peeve is that average people, normal people like most of us on this webinar, can't participate, even if we want to, even if it's something that really tugs at our heartstrings. When I think of where I was 5 years ago, there's no way I could give money to feed starving children on the other side of the world. If one of them would show up at my door, I'm sure I'd feed him. But I was too concerned about my own starving children. Well, enter network giving. This is the brainchild of these 6 multimillionaire philanthropist business people. I met them when they weren't multimillionaire philanthropists. They were philanthropists. That was part of their DNA. But they came up with this concept of being able to leverage people, time, and money. So you're leveraging the efforts of others and leveraging your own time and leveraging your own money. Also, delayed gratification. We'll talk about that and what that means in just a minute here, because that's also not something we're taught in public school. We're not taught that in America. I remember a song by Queen that came out in the 70s. I want it all, I want it all, I want it all, and I want it now. That's the mantra of our credit card society and what's created so much of our credit crisis that we're in now. We don't want delayed gratification. It's not the American way. But our forefathers knew better. Our forefathers that were farmers knew that you had to do a lot of hard work in planting and tilling the soil and watering before the harvest would come in. They understood delayed gratification. And when you understand the power of this, you'll embrace it, not fight it. Also that it takes money to make money, the same way as priming the pump. And everybody's hanging on to their little jar of water very scrupulously right now. You have to. But we're saying that once you participate, and everybody participates at any level, everybody participates in the priming of the pump. It doesn't take a lot of money to make money. We're not talking about seeking donations from large benefactors or something like that. We're just talking about something that every one of us on this call can participate in. Here's what I mean by delayed gratification. Let's say that you won $1 million in the lottery, but you had your choice of $1 million cash on the barrelhead